Today it's me on Honda CRF300L, Filipe on KTM 690 Enduro Rally, Hélder on KTM 790 Adventure R, Nuno on the Yamaha T7 and Pedro on the Suzuki DRZ400. I had my first 1000 km 600 mile service at the Honda dealer yesterday, and today it's my first real off-road ride on the CRF300L. For this first ride I chose the Rally Margem Sul by terrapirata.com. There are now 3 lines available for the RMS, the green, the yellow and the red. Me, Filipe, Hélder and the Tuscan rider will ride the red line, and Pedro is going to give a hand to Nuno on the green line, as he's just recently started to ride sand. But being fresh, Nuno decided to ride this red line section. Riding sand is all about momentum. It's about being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. It's about getting used to be out of control, because when on sand, you're never really in full control. You constantly need to adjust speed, direction and weight. And I'm sure Nuno will be a great sand rider, because he has the sanded attitude of the true sand riders. Being my first off-road ride on the 300L, I kept struggling with the gearbox, because there's no way I could ever ride this deep sand in 4th gear. We kept progressing on the rally and I kept struggling with my gearbox and losing momentum.
Eu estou aqui bocado confuso com a caixa. Não. Oi.
Nuno and Pedro moved to the green line and we kept pushing on the red one, welcoming Tuscan rider that had just showed up. When trying to follow KTM 690 on these sandy whoops, you can really notice that the Achilles heel on the CRF300L, it's the rear shock. It's a bit jumpy and I need to keep pushing him down against the ground, which is a bit tiring.
Acho que é.
But so far I'm loving this bike. It's so simple, so smooth, so easy to ride. It's incredible how much traction I can get up these hills in this deep sand on stock tires.
Meu! Tem que me habituar! Dar a gás.
I usually ride last in the group so I can record everybody on my video. This time I was in front. So when I naturally finished the section I went back to record the guys coming through. But no one showed up. I went back to find that Tuscan rider had hit a root and crashed hard on his KTM 690 Enduro R. Even though he was using top of the line boots and knee braces, he had a sprained ankle and needed urgent attention. So he managed to get him on tarmac and he drove himself into the hospital. The recovery time was more than 6 weeks.
Estás a sentir a piorar muito? Pô, gelo. Queres que eu vá contigo? Ele diz sim.
Down to 3 on the red line, we kept pushing on this deep sand section. When I started riding sand more often, I started realizing that not all sand is created equal. Some sand is the devil. You get no traction, you struggle a lot, it's constantly fighting you, and this is one of those sections.
E vamos tentar encontrar bom ritmo. Aí tentar não cair. Desgaste.
I'm going up and turning, in third gear, in deep sand, in a bike I don't know.
Opa.
Sand also changes depending on the temperature, the wind, the humidity, time of day, time of the year, etc. And today was a really hot, dry summer day. And I haven't been riding off-road for weeks. But we kept pushing forward on the track, as I really wanted to see if the 300L would climb Meco on stock tires.
Aqui é gás. Pai, não vejo nada. Pô, se ele quer para ter a mão moço. Vai, 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 vai. Olha, já está, já está. Monstro. Monstro. É que aqui nem estou lá em cima nem estou lá em baixo, meu.
Let's go, CRF! It's just incredible that even on stock tires and stock pressures, the CRF300L can climb this.
Eu sabia que subias.
I think she did great on these sand sections. Third gear was the sweet spot, going in fourth when I could get more speed and down to second when struggling a bit. First gear is rubbish in sand, as it digs way too much, like on most bikes. The suspension performed poorly on big sandy whoops, but that was kind of expected. Power-wise it was amazing, even when I made mistakes and slowed way too much than I should, like on this section, she always showed it has more than enough power for my 74 kilos and my needs.
Não havia nada, mas a moto ali abranda imenso, mesmo para sair dali daquelas situações, segunda, ela vai bem com estes pneuzinhos, epá, que são os pneus de origem, ela puxa muito bem, pá, tem muita força. Coming back!